All right, so one thing I noticed this week while I was working that I have a really hard time keeping up with different communication softwares. So I'm a consultant, I'm a financial consultant, and we obviously have clients. And specifically, we use Teams in our company at Sunrise Technologies. However, a lot of times our clients will use things like Slack, BlueJeans, like all sorts of different communication networks. And as you can imagine, it can get really confusing because you could have a million different Slacks in this chat, but you operate primarily on Teams and have messages that you're looking at in Teams. And a lot of times you have to have both applications up and just switching between the two. And so I've noticed that a lot of times I'll even miss Slacks just because it's not in one kind of cohesive environment. And so what I was thinking this week is I'd create or try to create something very simple and then share it with you guys. But essentially, I've been looking a lot into Zapier and just all the different kind of automations that you can create. And I created a really, really simple automation. It literally took me 10 minutes to make, and it really can take you guys about 10 minutes to make as well. But it's very helpful for this use case. And anyone else who's maybe a consultant or have any other scenarios where you're moving between different platforms. So yeah, I thought I'd go through and just show you really quick how to make this 10-minute zap is what they call it. And then, yeah, you can ask any questions or follow up with me if you have any other ideas for cool automations. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is create a Zapier account. It is free. However, there are upgrades that you can make and pay monthly if you want the better features. However, essentially, I've found that everything I want to do, I can do with just the free version. Once you create an account, go to this create function here, and then go to Zaps. That will take you to this really nice kind of clean workflow editor pane. And something I really like about Zapier is you can just put in a prompt similar to like ChatGPT or any other kind of AI or Copilot tool. And essentially it will pick like whatever your idea is. So today I'm doing like a Team Slack integration, but let's say you have like a Jira Outlook integration that you want to do. You just key in, hey, I want to, let's see if I can type, hey, I want to connect Jira to Outlook. And you may want to be a little bit more specific, but that is just an example of some of the cool things that you can do. What I want to do today, though, is just start with my own Zap. And I'm going to start with the trigger. It always starts with some type of trigger, some type of automation or thing to start the automation. And so obviously my trigger will be Slack. And there's thousands. I mean, you can see here over 5,000 different integrations that Zapier runs to. So, I mean, the possibilities are absolutely endless. But I'm going to choose Slack. And this is where you start setting up some of the parameters and criteria for your workflow. So I have Slack defined. Now I'm going to select an event that essentially triggers the workflow. So what I want to do here is specifically a new mention. I found that a lot of times people will message me, I'll be added to a channel, someone will mention my name, and again, sometimes I'll miss it, and I have to switch between Teams and Slack, and again, it's just not efficient. So what I do is a new mention trigger, but there's all sorts of different triggers you can do when a new channel is created, when a new file is sent. Another really cool one is this new saved message function. So whenever you like bookmark a message, if you select this, it actually will take that bookmark message and it will perform whatever your action is that you pick. But today I'm just going to do the new mention because that was my use case and what works best for me. I'm going to select continue. And then you just have to hook up your account. So I have a couple different Slack accounts that I use with my consulting company, Sunrise Technologies. And today I want to use the Sunrise one. So I'm going to select that one. And we're going to continue. So here's where we actually kind of define some more specific values for the trigger. This is where you can really solidify and create some cool automations based off of different things. So for Slack, you can actually select specifically what user you want to trigger the automation. So when this user gets selected, essentially the automation will be triggered. When this user gets commented or posted in a channel. So I'm going to do my name, obviously, Owen Fanning. So that's the username when that user gets mentioned in a channel. it will trigger the automation. You can even do a highlighted word. This one I didn't find as helpful because typically you can't really guess or kind of try to determine what the word is going to be that someone's going to essentially mention in a chat. So really, I didn't use this one because it just wasn't as helpful. And then trigger for bot messages. This is just those bot messages in Slack. I put no because typically I'm not getting pinged by any of those Slack bots. But if your company does that or you have found yourself being pinged by Slack bots, that might be helpful to turn to yes. But I'm going to set it to no for my automation. And then you just select continue. And then something that's really important, after every step, you want to test this and make sure the connection's working. So I'm going to go to test trigger, and what this does is it looks for like any recent like mentions that you have. So this is a mention that actually was created on the 24th, so today, and it had my name. And there's all these different fields that you can really double click into and specify specifically like how you want the automation to work. So you can set any of these fields to work in this automation. I don't need anything really specific here, so I'm just going to continue, but that is something you can explore if you'd like to look further into that. So now the second piece of this, I'm going to select Teams. That's the second part of our automation. And then same thing here. It's really user-friendly, super intuitive, and I'm just going to select an event. And I'm going to do send a chat message. So essentially my design that I want to happen is when I get a Slack, get mentioned in really any of these channels here, I want to be able to get a Teams message in a chat that says, hey, this is the message. This is essentially what someone tagged you and said. So I'm going to do send chat message, continue. It's already hooked up to my Microsoft Teams account. Again, you may have to go and hook up your Teams account or whatever the software is, but I'm going to continue. And then this is where you select essentially like what chat the message gets sent to. So specifically, I just have a one-on-one chat set up with myself, Owen Fanning to Owen Fanning, and I'm using that one, but you can have this sent to like a larger group text if you'd like a team channel if you want to set this up for your team or your project team, whatever that is. But personally, I'm just using this for myself for now. You can change the way the message is formatted, so you can change the way the text is. I just have it as a plain text. I really don't need to kind of mess around with what the text looks like. And then this actually is very important. So you can set like a default message like hello, and when the automation triggers, you'll get set hello. Or, which I don't find that very helpful at all, really. I mean, that just tells me basically, hey, you were tagged. But what I really like is that you can set up what the mention actually says. So like what the data is in that mention. If you select this new mention field and then text, you actually get the text of what that mention is and you get that sent to you. So I personally like that better. But really you could put anything you want here. Like you could say, this is your task for today. And then it will have that text phrase with whatever the mention is, whatever the data is in that mention. But yeah, that's what I'll use for this test, this demo, and I'll press continue. And then again, you just want to test this. So we're going to do like a test. And it actually looks like it went ahead and ran. So a message was sent to Microsoft Teams about 10 seconds ago. This was the message in Slack. And actually, if I look at Teams, you can see here at 12:46, I had a message sent to me. So that's just it in the test environment. I'll actually publish it and show you kind of a more valid use case or scenario. But yeah, let's go ahead and publish this Zap. It takes a second, and then we'll move on to the actual go live. All right, so the Zap was published. It's ready to go. It's in my Zap folder, and it is running. Now what I want to do is actually test this in production or in the go live environments here. So I have my Slack channel. I created a test channel for this just to not bother any of these other folks. But basically, I'm going to draft up a message that is probably relevant to something you'll see. So at Owen Fanning, could you please review the cutover list? Just a simple consulting phrase that many consultants have heard before. I'm going to send that at 12:48. So keep an eye on that 12:48. And I even got the notification on my phone, so that's really cool. But if I go ahead and go to Teams, you can see just right off the bat, boom. This is your task for today at Owen Feigning. Could you please review the cutover list? And so there it is in full force. You can see it worked in our test, and it also worked in our prod go live. But this is so helpful because this isn't just like the one test that I mentioned. If you get mentions from 20 different teams, all of it will come into this chat. And so you'll just have a full Teams list of all of your different mentions, all of your different tasks. And it's just really helpful. It allows you to have one, again, cohesive environment where you can see all these Slack messages. And it really has helped my efficiency this week. So I just wanted to share that. I thought it was really cool. You saw it takes probably even 5 minutes to create. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and yeah, open to other ideas and different automations that you can think of. So thanks.